Ready? What's up, everybody?
Good morning. Oh, God.
That's what the guy named Peter McKinnon, he goes, what's up, everybody? Hey, Gunner, this is you can't see my dog. Gunner, come here. Come here. Get up here. Oh, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
Oh, no.
Oh, you gonna lick my eyeball? Thank you. Thank you, buddy. Gunner today rolled in some bear poop. Gunner, this is PG-13, Gunner. Thank you very much. So Gunner rolled in some bird. Oh, get her. Hey, who's that? Get her. Get the coffee. So Gunner rolled in some bear poop today. And then yesterday, there was a dead crow. And I seen Gunner rolling around on his back. And I was like, Gunner! And he jumped up and I was like, oh my gosh, he rolled in a dead crow. Ooh. So we got a question, and we thought we would turn it into a Witch Stuff Wednesday. It comes from Brad, a.k.a. Big Dirty, and his question was, if you didn't live where you live right now, and you could live anywhere you wanted in Alaska, where would you go?
It's a good question.
It's a great question, but it's a very difficult question to answer.
Yeah, because
There's
many places that I have not been in Alaska.
Well, because Alaska's big.
Alaska's huge.
So, I'm sure people that are watching Alaska Channel knows that you could lift Texas up and you could actually fit Texas inside of Alaska. And with the Aleutian chain, if you put Alaska on the United States like a map, it would basically stretch from the southeast would be the east coast, and the Aleutian chains would stretch all the way to the west coast. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Well, that's big. When we first moved up here, I told my mom that we were going to visit her brother it was Kenai then. And she goes, oh, what's it take, like 16, 17 hours to get there? And I was like,
no.
It takes like 3 days to get there.
And that's with riding on a ferry.
Yeah, so
And going through Canada.
It's a 4-hour ferry trip to get from Juneau to Haines, and then basically it's an all-day trip to get from Haines out of Canada into Tok. Mm-hmm. And then you spend the night in Tok, and then on the second day, if you want to make it an all-day trip, you can drive like 12 hours,
Another
13
12
hours to get down into, they lived in, not Kenai,
Soldotna, yeah.
but which is in Kenai Peninsula, and neighbors to the town of Kenai. There you go. But so where would you like to live? That's a good question. Because to be honest, her mom and dad lives here
In Juneau.
But this isn't exactly where we originally started looking.
No.
And her brother lived in Kenai. And so we originally went all up and down Kenai, like Homer and Anchor Point and some of the other little meth towns. You can't say meth towns?
That's not nice.
Some of the other towns that aren't meth towns.
Babe.
Because we had that question too, like, does Alaska have drugs and crime? Yes. We're going to get into that, though, in another video. Not this one. This one we're talking about where would we like to live. So where would you like to live?
Well, so I myself, as long as I was around lots of mountains and water.
Important.
Because that's where I grew up. That's, I was always surrounded by the water. So to make me feel good, I needed some water. And mountains. That was the two most important things.
And those are cool things. If you can get both of those things together, super cool. And guess what? That's what we got here in the southeast.
Right.
And you're not limited just to this little area. Like all the way from Ketchikan to Haines, it's just tons of little islands. Some islands have big populations like Sitka and Ketchikan and what's that other? Gustavus. So there's other little islands that have like actual roads and stuff on it. But then you have tons of these little smaller islands, and you can buy the parcels from these guys, but you just got to have a boat to get back and forth to town because that's how you get your supplies.
Right.
And that's what we settled on. But originally we were talking about getting big acres on the mainland and going for broke.
Right.
But we didn't do that because we both love the mountains and we both love the water. And I never even owned a boat.
You really didn't.
No. This is the first boat I've ever owned, so.
Had you even driven a boat before?
No. I had a friend when I was in high school and we'd go water skiing. But I didn't drive the boat, I just learned how to water ski. And then my stepdad had a boat. But I never drove his boat either, so no.
Well, when we said go big or go home.
Yeah, dude. I ain't afraid to do anything once. So here we are. And I think I've come a long way, you know. But yeah, it's not. What do they call it? A fast learner? I learn fast. So anyways, my wife's going to tell you where she would live. And I'm going to tell you after that where I would live.
Well, I could tell you where I didn't want to live is someplace like Barrow, where it's which isn't even Barrow anymore.
There's a new name now.
Which I cannot pronounce.
Yeah.
But I mean, because we've had a comment before that said that because we live in the southeast, we don't even live in real Alaska. Because, you know, we're not dealing with negative 50, 60.
Dude. All of Alaska doesn't get into the negative 50-degree weather. Even Anchorage doesn't get in the negative 50s.
Well, I've experienced negative 50 and I sure as heck didn't want to live in it.
Yeah. My wife, when we were in the military, my wife goes, let's get stationed in Alaska. I was like, okay, cool, let's go visit your brother, because he lived in Fairbanks at the time, and we went up there for Christmas, and dude, I stepped off the plane, and there was a big thermometer that said negative 50. Nope. Mm-mm.
That's so cold. It hurts to breathe.
I peed outside once, and literally, my pee froze. It was like a frozen waterfall. No, it didn't really freeze like that, but it was cold. I did pee outside in negative 50, but I don't think I'd ever do it again.
That was the same trip that our dog
lost the booty
and then learned how to walk on two legs.
Yeah, we had a pit bull, and it was a pit bull mix. We got her from the pound, Fort Hood, Texas, Colleen. We got her from the pound, and she looked just like a pit bull. She just wasn't quite as big. But literally, she lost a booty off of her back foot up in Fairbanks in the winter, and she looked like a damn toy poodle. Her back legs went whoop up in the air. She walked on her front legs all the way to the garage.
It did. I think it felt like it burned her back paws. It was.
Dude, it was so cold out there, but it was amazing. Like her brother, hi Don. He had a couple snow machines back then, and he was set up for Fairbanks. And he lives in Fairbanks again now, but he doesn't have snow machines yet, so let's get those snow machines. But dude, it was just so cool, just going through the tundra, wow, with your snow machine, and then get out on the frozen rivers, and you know, then like out of nowhere, you're like, oh man, we're getting out into the middle of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, right down the middle of the river, here comes a dude with 10 dogs just mushing on by, and you're like,
that's cool.
That seems like Alaska to me.
Yeah.
But the Southeast seems like Alaska, because we get these nasty, gnarly, I mean, this ain't the Bering Sea, but for a little 20-foot boat, it feels like the Bering Sea every once in a while when we're like going back and forth to town. You're like, oh my gosh. And then she chimes in all the time. You're gonna kill us. We're gonna die.
Well, I mean, you know, a boat in water, that's cold too. I don't want to end up.
Yeah,
I don't want to end up in the water.
I can tell you what. You could get on a snow machine with your heated grips and all your Mickey Mouse boots and all your Polypro and your coveralls. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, dude. That water's cold. Just being in a boat out in the water, I realized why you'd see all the Navy guys in their big wool coats all the time. You know, in movies and whatnot. It's because when you get out on the water, it gets cold.
Yeah, I mean,
even in the summertime, sometimes I'll throw on a jacket just because I'm like, I know the water's going to be, twice as cold as what it is right now.
So, I mean, I guess it really depends on, you have, up in Alaska, if you have snow to deal with in the wintertime, for us it's, waves and winter and cold.
And snow?
Yeah.
But we don't get half the snow that the interior gets.
Oh, no, not at all.
That's fine with me. I mean, I like a white Christmas, but it is what it. Baby, we both have ADHD and we're getting way off topic. If you could live anywhere in Alaska, where would it be?
I
got so many places I'd like to live.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, as long as, like I said, I mean, I would like to stay in the Southeast because I really...
That's not what he said. He said you have to pick another place besides the Southeast.
Really? Oh, dang. Gosh, I don't even know then, to be honest with you.
What about down on the Kenai Peninsula? Besides the meth, what didn't you like there? I'm just kidding. It's not that bad.
I know. Stop talking about that.
I'm just being silly.
I didn't like it because there wasn't enough. I wasn't surrounded by mountains.
So in Kenai, you've got the Cook Inlet, and then there's mountains on the other side of the Cook Inlet, and then you kind of have little mountains, but it's not like the Southeast where you're like surrounded by mountains. I mean, you'd have to cross the water to get to the next biggest mountain, and then it's kind of like rolling hills there. So where would you move then? And it's the same in the... Okay. You gotta pick a place, baby. I gotta go, but I got all kinds of places that I like.
I don't know. I don't want to go anywhere where it's cold. I'm so good with like 30 degrees in the wintertime. I don't want to hit negative, so...
Yeah, like we were just talking to her dad, and he said it got to 20 degrees this morning, and but we just went for a walk in our hoodies, and it was like 31 when we left. So 31 degrees, and this is November. So 31 degrees in November is, yeah, that's fine, dude. That's perfect weather. But like they're already in the single digits in Fairbanks.
I mean, it would be nice to go live where it didn't rain so much, I guess.
But then you'd be hauling water all the time.
Yeah, that sucks. True.
All right, so like I said, it's 7 degrees in Fairbanks right now, and we're like in the 30s. We're 34 degrees. So if you think the Southeast, you're like, oh well, 34 is cold. Not when you go to Fairbanks. It ain't cold. Dude, their kids, her brother's kids, they moved from Fairbanks to like the big negative 20 to negative 50 degree weather to Kenai, where it was like negative 10. They'd be wearing like shorts and shirts and t-shirts, walking around like, man, this ain't nothing.
Well, and another thing that, what you think about moving away from here is, what I don't like is the whole driving thing. I hate to get in a car.
Well, okay, go ahead.
And have to drive. That's why, I love living where I live, is because, like, driving for us is getting into a boat and doing it. That's our...
And you get to see whales and porpoises and sea lions and all kinds. Oh, yeah, that's cool. That is cool. But I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I wish we had a road that because Juneau is landlocked. So to get in and out of Juneau, it's boat or plane. That's it. But sometimes, like, I wish I could just like get your motor running.
See, I think that's because where you grew up and where I grew up, I hate getting in the cars and having to drive more than like
15 minutes.
15.
She's sleeping. Within 15 minutes, she's sleeping.
Yeah, so
She sleeps here. When we go downtown, like we're at her mom and dad's house, we're going downtown. 10 minutes down the road, she's asleep. Just kidding. No, she's not really sleeping, but
well,
if we were on a trip, she'd be sleeping.
I have fallen asleep when I've been driving.
It's not good.
No.
All right, so I'll go. How about that?
Okay.
There are all kinds of places.
That you'd like to live
yeah. Yeah.
Up north, really.
Man, I'm gonna look like an idiot because I can't think of the word now. Not Metsu, Maxu, the whole Maxu Valley.
Yeah, that's not the name, but
Yeah, it is.
Maxu? Matanuska? Is that what you're trying to say?
Matanuska, the Matsku. That's what they call it, Matsku.
Where do you say Mats? Where do you
Well,
say
that's just
Matsu?
that's what the natives call it.
I've never heard.
Matsu, right there.
Matsu Valley? Oh,
Yeah.
the Matanuska.
Matanuska.
Okay, so where we were, I could definitely do that. That would be nice.
That little area, like I know there's some YouTubers, Simple Live in Alaska. Their YouTube channel, they live in Willow, and then life goes north. Those guys live in Wasilla,
Pretty.
and then Rustic by Nature. I think they live in Palmer, and we both like Palmer. That was cool. I think Palmer was too close, but I'd still want to be. Now, if I lived
Homer was nice.
Homer in the Kenai was nice, but so I don't want to live somewhere in the Matsu Valley, I think. But you can't live there anymore. But if I could, I would go to that place to the top of the world, the Arctic, where you can't drill, and only people that have cabins there now. Once they die, there's no more cabins being built in there, like the Arctic Refuge or whatever.
I didn't know that.
Dude, it's like crazy way up north.
Really?
Yeah. Now, to me, that's bush. Like what? Like that's another term. Like people say bush all the time.
Living in the bush.
Bush? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that I mean, there's tons of places that I'd like to live. It'd be a totally different lifestyle because you wouldn't need a boat. But I would.
That would be hard living just because in the winter for sure.
Yeah. But the thing is even here, I mean, Alaska's kind of a unforgiving place. So if you get in trouble in Alaska, I mean, literally, it really could be a life or death situation.
Yeah.
So if you in the wintertime up in the interior, if your car breaks down and you're just not prepared and it's -50 and you're like in the middle of nowhere and you don't find help, I mean, there's a possibility.
I mean, the elements is definitely what gets people in Alaska for sure. For us, it definitely would be the water.
Yeah, for us, it's the water. Because in the wintertime, the winds pick up, the water gets nasty, and you never know. You never know when, and winds come through, like, you're like, oh, it's just fine, we can cross through, and then all of a sudden, a big windstorm comes through, and you're like...
And it's amazing how fast it goes.
Yeah. It's fun to watch it on the water, because you can actually see the water going, like, starting to tremble, and then all of a sudden, you can hear it start shaking in the cabin.
Definitely.
But,
So,
yeah.
we could both do Matsu.
We could do Matsu.
That would be nice.
I think that was all of his question. It didn't say, did he ask why? Let me look real quick.
Through.
So he said pick the top 3.
Oh, good God.
Well, yeah, that works. Hold on. What did he say? If you're moving to Alaska and you never had lived there before, knowing what you know now, where would you pick? And you can't pick where you live currently. That's why it's an important in your answer. And then he said you could give a top 3. So my top 3 would be Mat-Su Valley.
Homer.
Homer's cool, but I don't... we've never been there. But around the Seward area, Seward looks really pretty. And it's awful sea. Like it's like it's a sea town.
Sitka.
Yeah, Sitka's southeast still.
Okay. He didn't say southeast, did he?
No, he just said here, but I'm ruling out the southeast but the southeast is beautiful. It rains a lot, but if you can deal with the rain, dude, you get it all. You get
The mountains.
you get everything.
You get the water.
Yeah. So I would say the Mat-Su Valley. I liked. We found a couple cool little cabins in. I think it was Anchor Point. We were looking at getting a cabin, which is in the Kenai Peninsula too. So yeah, there's places out there all over the place. And then what was that place that was really pretty but was too expensive? Cooper's Landing or Cooper's Landing? I think it's Cooper's Landing. It's in between Kenai and Anchorage, driving up. But that was a really pretty place too. We want to thank Brad for the awesome question because really,
We really enjoy his comments.
yeah, he's a pretty funny guy
He is
too.
a funny guy.
But that's a great question, and we get a lot of questions about Alaska. But
So did we answer it? Homer or basically Kenai Peninsula.
Mat-Su Valley, and then if you could still build like up into the top, above the Arctic Circle, it's I think it's called the Arctic Refuge. I'm not sure, but they did a little documentary about like the last few families that lived there, and I was like, dude, how awesome would that be? Just to like be like in the bush. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. But we're going to have to do the commenter of the week, so let's pick that guy.
I'll be right back.
All right, so
You can hear my bacon cooking.
she's cooking bacon and it smells delish. Smells delish. So for our commenter of the week, it was on the video where we go into town. It was called "Just Because You're Off Grid Doesn't Mean You Never Go to Town," and that's where we got our range, and that's where we got the gun safe and a new wheelbarrow. Because I loaded all the wood into the wheelbarrow or firewood, and I was about to wheel it back over to the front porch, and the wheelbarrow went "Merp," and the metal handle had just rusted in half. So that's the video. The commenter of the week is. You're supposed to do the drum rolls. Dale Griffin. Beautiful country! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. The last frontier for sure. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Nice.
You're right, Daryl. It is beautiful country. Thank you. Because I wake up every day and I'm like, oh. Sorry, I was going into the Halo theme song. Yeah, so thank you guys for commenting. If you want to be the commenter of the week, all you gotta do is comment in our videos. And when we do these Wood Stove Wednesdays, we're gonna pick a winner and go from there.
Thanks for watching.
Give us.
Okay, gotcha. That's a little premature. Go ahead, do it again. You stupid.
Don't forget to give us a thumbs
Up. Do it again.
Oh, I was gonna kiss you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up.
Thanks for watching. See you next week.
After a while, crocodile.
Do it again.
What do you want me to do? That was perfect.
I'm sure you can get something out of it.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Are we good?
I don't know.
All right, Mama. My back's burning.